the more I speak, the more I just keep losing my voice. So I'm going to show a lot more today. Normally I love details. Normally I love coming around and giving you guys as many details as possible. I'm going to give us very basic details today, but a lot more of how I'm going to show you with my body. So really pay attention to their eyes here. Back. This is very difficult for me to do anything. See, I'm actually all the way in. Even though I'm taller, I actually want a little bit of space. I want him to sink into me. I'm in that BI. That's what you want to do. Grab a hold of the knee. Turn it inside out. Thumb and pull. Gripping here, this one ply, really hard to actually get a good grip on. But when we reverse this grip is so much stronger. Most of the time we normally already use the other hand to help this. But if I can just turn my wrist as I open it, that doesn't do anything extra. It doesn't take any more extra energy. But it gives me a much better grip. I'm still making sure I push slack. Because if I pull down, I can only grab so high. But if I open it, I can reach as high as I want. Grab a hold. But then, before I grab, I'm gonna keep it loose. I'm gonna pull to make it tight now. And I'm gonna grab. But if I reach all the way up here, it's actually not the best choke I could have. It's really crushing his carotid artery, his trachea, sorry. I wanna be on the carotid artery. I wanna be just a little bit lower. This is not the place I wanna be when I choke him. If I go any more than that, I should just be rear naked choking him. I'm an FBI. Pull down tight, rip out. 2 steps. 1, 2. Now I'm going to lean back this way. Now, as I go, if I reach a little bit higher, you notice I can't actually straighten my arm. I reach a little bit lower, look how I can start to straighten my arm. And this is how I'm gonna get that choke on him. So if I reach too high, I don't have the torque that I want to have on him. Back mount, the hand that's over is the one that's being protected. And I just open the collar, make sure there's slack, pull down tight. Look out, it's actually slightly to the side, but also mostly the front. I'm not coming all the way behind him here. I'm gonna grab outside the knee. It's not gonna be at the hip. It's also not gonna be all the way down to the knee. It's just gonna be right here. Foot on the hip, cross the foot over. Now I'm gonna start to sit back. Look how I'm straightening this arm. Bow and arrow choke, number 1. Any questions?
You called that the bow and arrow choke.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't actually bring this up over my shoulder.
Don't have to.
Don't
I
have
can.
to. Okay.
I don't have to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? All right, let's get it. 1, 2, 3. Every group. These are the questions I want everyone to hear. Your question.
Oh, the one. Before I was leading a lot more than I saw other people, so am I doing that right or?
So again, we don't want to be hip to hip with him. We actually want him to be laying in our lap just a little bit if we can, especially if they're taller than us. When I hit this, guys, I'm opening, and again, I'm not seeing enough people make this loose. I still see this. This is great. I can get a good grip on it. But again, my thumb has to kind of fish for it, and in all that amount of time, he can probably bring his other hand in. So I'm gonna open it, get my hand exactly where I want to. Look how I actually push it against his neck. I'm not too worried about the grip. I put the grip where my hand needs to be. Now, once I'm here, this is a solid grip. What I don't want to be doing is gripping with my fingers or just the palm. I actually want a full-on, I'm sorry, I got your shit on that one, grip. Then I'm going to move myself forward. Move him into my lap. That's really about it, but look how I came to the side. This is where we can start doing all this fun stuff, if we ever wanted to. It's not always a necessity, So when I'm here, this is actually where I really like to be because I feel very control over his whole body. And I can just sit back and look how I'm turning straight.
So you actually stay upright. It's the other guy that's
Yeah.
leaning.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Then variation number 2. I'm gonna put my hand on the shoulder. I'm gonna flare it out and then slide it behind the neck. And from here, I'm just going to extend both arms. That's where I get the choke from. You probably want to see this one. Everything's the same for the choke. Set up, boom, boom, boom. The reason why I grab the shoulder, guys, is because if I grab, it allows me to have extra leverage. If I just open my elbow, I'm not very strong. Boom. Then I slide it behind. Then again, I start to fall off to the side, but I straighten both arms. And variation number 3. Here. This is the clock choke. I'm gonna pull down and to the side. This one I'm not gonna actually move from position. I'm gonna hit right where we are. So as I open, I get my hand in nice and tight. I reach over and look how I don't wanna grab up high. I actually wanna grab straight across. I tug to make sure there's no slack, and then I pull. But I know I'm probably gonna see this. I remember doing it too. It's like I know what I'm supposed to do, but I still end up pulling opposite. But technically, as I'm going and pulling down, this one's actually pulling backwards. This is pulling this way, and this one's pulling down. So down and back, not up and down. Reach across, tug down, and look how I start pulling backwards. 3 variations one more time. Actually, we have the first one. Second one, shoulder. Notice how I don't just lift, I actually like to pull a little bit because that weakens your shoulder and I get that hand through. Look how my palm's facing me. Why? Hand's sticky. Back of your hand's not. But if I put my hand here, it's just gonna get stuck. I'm gonna use the back of my hand, cut all the way around. Look how I'm near her ear now. Now I'm gonna straighten both my arms. Another variation would be instead of reaching back or grabbing, I'm just gonna reach across the far collar, just about elbow height for me. Then I'm gonna tug down, then I'm gonna pull. If you go same time, I guarantee you're probably gonna pull across. But if you go tug, then back, you're gonna get it. Because this just becomes a hold. I'm no longer actually pulling here. So I tug, pull, then I start to pull, and then the choke happens. Again, if you pull at the same time, it tends to be that opposite pull. Any question on the 3 variations?
What's the decision matrix on which one to do?
Kind of like a takedown, feeling what you want to set up.
Okay.
What do you like to do? And what do you normally hit? You know, little things like that. Super classic old school jiu-jitsu is here. You have to be quite savvy to get here. And if you mess up, you've lost position here. So there's a danger here where if I don't get it, she starts popping her head through, boom, I just wound up in guard, or with guard. And yes, okay, maybe I almost submitted her, but is that worth not submitting her? And that's where those other 2 variations are nice. You can start prying for the first or the second 2 that I just taught, then go to the bow and arrow. It's a good way of thinking it through of, if I lose, do I lose more than just the attempt? So, any other questions, guys?
For the palm, the back of the palm, do you want it like underneath the notch of the head? Okay.
Yeah. It'll run really smoothly there.
Okay. And then for the bow and arrow choke, when do you want to utilize the leg versus the variation you're showing us without
You know,
using?
again, that's levels of trapping.
Okay.
There are some ways, so if we think about why we're going the shoulder and all that stuff, trapping is a major key. There are some extra leverage points that coaches will bring in, but normally the extra leverage points are when people start bringing like the shins and all that stuff. But if I am just coming here, this is normally just a trap. I don't feel too much more leverage here.
Okay.
Like, yeah, maybe you do, but at the same time, it's not enough. I really like this positioning here. I feel the most comfortable. Because even if I mess up, I almost feel like I can get to the mount pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm all up like this, you know, maybe triangles are there. But again, I'm always thinking, where she can get out.
Mhm.
So if she can get out, she's probably going to come here. And then I'm going to get on top. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I think I really like it, is people are really good at defending. So always have a backup plan. Any other questions, guys? All right, let's hit all three. 1, 2, 3. So you guys go home with gi burns on your neck. I'm sorry. I think way back in the day, I had a weekend seminar. It was like 3 days of seminars, and each day we went over gi chokes. And it was like 2 hours per seminar. I probably did 5. Like the next day, or like on Monday, man, like my neck was like purple and had all these spots on it. It was fun. But I'm here in side control, with my hand and shoulder to the hip, and I'm gonna hop up. Now, one of the things I really like about when I do this is, a lot of times I will feel out just that. That's really all I need to know where it is. So watch one more time. I'm starting here. Why do we start here? Because this is where you're gonna be. Don't already start here. Why? Because we did not get to the point where we've learned to get here. And this is actually a trick in itself. So I'm here, and look how as I move, I trace and catch the thumb. Boom. Come right back down. Now I'm going to drop weight through the top arm, but I'm gonna pull with my right. You guys ever see old kung fu movies where there's like that chain and there's like a scythe on the end? They throw it and it cuts in the guy's neck. It doesn't kill him yet. They pull and it cuts the guy's head off. The blade doesn't move. The blade has no effect once it's already gone into the guy's neck. It's a chain that does everything. This is the blade, this is the chain. Move so that should be a little nicer. Look how I still make space, guys. Get my hand in nice and tight. Now, right now, I feel like I would like it a little bit better, so a lot of times one of the things I will do is give it a little whip to get a little deeper. Now I'm gonna reach across, and again, I'm gonna karate chop his neck. Why? Because I don't wanna just grab. Look at all that extra space I just made. Karate chop, then I grab. But then I'm gonna come down. Let's think about this. This is the blade. This pulls into it. So the more I pull with my right arm, you can see it's cutting everything, making this hole smaller. And the smaller and smaller and smaller it is, the more the blade cuts into it. And both of my arms are blocking these carotid arteries. Not just that blade though, but all the power comes from my right arm. The only thing I want to do here is keep steady, firm pressure in an equal fashion at this angle. Hop up so that way I have the room and the control to use both hands. Open, get my hand in. Ah man, he's not letting me get deep enough. A little whip. Doing good. Lean over, karate chop, and grab that seam. I'm gonna come down to my knees. I'm gonna drop the weight through the top arm, but then I'm gonna pull through the back. See, even if I drop weight through the top, it doesn't make him tap until I pull with that bottom arm. Any questions on that? This arm, as I pull, should pull this way. So I'm pulling back. Any questions on that? One last little tip if you ever want to, flaring into it to make sure he doesn't keep that chin down. I like to make sure I dig underneath because that makes it even more uncomfortable. It's still gonna put him to sleep for sure, either way. But if I'm just here, but if I'm here, ooh, goody, goody, goody. Any questions, guys? All right,
So-
be nice, you're up.
So if he does get his chin down, I mean, would you modify more, or what would you do then if he does get the
I'm
chin
sorry,
down?
Doug.
Sorry, Doug.
I like being mean to Cody. So,
Mess around too much.
yeah, exactly. So she gets her chin down. So I'm just gonna pry until I can get underneath of it. And I'm gonna lift and get underneath, lift and get underneath, lift and get underneath, lift and get
I think
underneath.
you're under.
No, I can't tell. Boom, boom, boom. And it's uncomfortable. It might take like 3. If you do it one time, you'll probably not get it. But after about 3 or 4, you're for sure get it.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be like a pain thing. I'm not digging, I'm not grinding. Just lifting, and they're gonna drop it again. So I lift again. It's like a jack. Any questions? All right, 1, 2, 3. Any positions you guys want? So basically left, we have the guard and we have the mount. Unless you guys can think of anything else. Guard.
Sure.
Yeah, from guard, yeah, cool.
Boring.
Well, there's that other one that's the baseball bat choke from the side.
Oh, I was thinking for the first, can you do it? I don't think you can.
No.
Can you do it the other person?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, let's see then what that is.
No, not with all these white belts.
Your own fault.
What?
That's what I said guard, that's what I meant, the person.
Yeah,
in
so there are, like for instance, if Doug has my back, I can submit him if he crosses his feet. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
So, but technically that is not a position that I should be looking for submissions. The guard is just as dangerous. We should not be looking for submissions. If we go for submissions, they give away a lot of stuff to other people. That's one of the reasons why I don't like teaching. I will show it, I don't want to drill it though. So, this is probably the meanest choke that I know of.
Yay, he's not doing it to me.
So, boom. I know it. Right there. It's almost like my pinky right underneath his collarbone. Is watch. Look where it is. But what I need to do, hey look. I pass. Bring it across the other carotid artery. And one of the biggest keys here, I'm gonna only teach it really quick so that way, unless you know what I'm doing, then you can't ever replicate it. I hide it. Why? Because if I'm like this, you can start to peel my hand off. So as I go for it, boom, boom, I actually hide the other hand. Then I get up and I put all my weight onto that. And that's either I get the tap or I get the pass. But I don't want to drill that side. So now, I got the mount. I'm gonna grab low, I'm actually gonna sink forward. See how I'm grabbing low and I actually just sink forward. That's the best way to get that gi open. Now I'm gonna bring my hand and I'm gonna pull it back over the top. I'm gonna put my hand nice and high. Watch my right foot. Pushes me. See where I am? The great thing about this is bridge your hips.
There's nothing to bridge.
There's nothing to bridge. One of the biggest dangers about this choke is right now, bridge. So, not a big fan for MMA of this individual, but for Jiu Jitsu, Roger Gracie once submitted everyone in a tournament with the same choke and one goal. This is that choke. It is beautiful because it's so hard to defend, and I'll try and explain every detail of why it is. But number one, I'm not doing this and shaking it out. I'm literally just leaning. I have my base. I'm gonna put my weight and I'm pulling over the top. I'm gonna rebase. I keep my feet underneath of him, so when I push, it's not like I'm flaring my foot. But look how tight I'm getting. I'm actually facing perpendicular right now. So now I'm gonna bring my hand underneath the head. I'm gonna put it right next to his hand, or my hand. And look, boom. Now I'm gonna drop my knee and put my head. This is also the first choke I ever got my professor. So this works really well.
Bless you.
Open, hand in. Look how I got underneath. If it starts to pass to the other side, just start taking it back. Wonderful. Then we can start going for our chokes here. But most of the time, as I slide up, I'll catch it right exactly where it is. I'm gonna put my hand underneath the head. And one of the benefits of this is, see how easy this is? I don't actually have to move because my elbow naturally is here. But if I'm facing forward, check this out. I have to really move my body just to get around that head. Or otherwise, I have to do this choke. But if his hand's blocking, I can't get to it. But if I get all the way up here, I can at least already get to it. But coach, what if he puts his hand back where it was anyways? I'm gonna be a little mean to you right now.
Okay.
Look, it just scrapes. It is so wonderful to scrape. I just used that bone. I don't care. I've never had anyone's fingers stay. You put weight through the scalp and just trace it down. The fingers will start to crumble. And you don't have to keep your hand there anymore. But I'm here, just imagine, scrape, 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 then lock it into place. Then from here, I'm bringing my weight forward. I'm gonna put my head here, and one of the things I wanna do is tuck and fall. And as I fall, this arm's gonna go straight. Normally, if you get your head down, they're not tapping, that probably means they're unconscious.
Now, your second hand that goes in here, is it the thumb that's going in?
Yeah, just,
Okay.
And then I was gonna ask, are we aiming to be like side by side on the hands, or a little bit of space in between, or?
I'll show you. So it ends up opening a little bit, but my grip though, because technically it's just my two fingers, is here. It's almost like a baseball bat.
And that's why I was wondering, like,
But then I actually pivot off these two fingers. These three, but these two. So that way I can bring it in front now. My grip technically didn't get looser, but it got repositioned. Boom. Even from here, I could probably finish it. But better, see, I can't even get down without him tapping. Normally,
question.
normally if I have it tight and I'm really going for it, they tap well before I ever get down there. And again, we shouldn't have to squeeze hard. It should just be nice and tight. Chokes should never be hard to get. If you get it through squeezing really hard, man, you had like a 20% choke, maybe 40%. But if we go nice and smooth, have very good details, at 80%, shouldn't have to do anything. At 100%, should be tapping even before we finish, which is a good thing. Any questions? All right, this is our last choke. 1, 2, 3.